Good morning, children. Today I'll be teaching you the second part of Chapter 4 Economic Organization. In this part, we shall discuss three topics: agrarian economy, then Jajmani system, and about Manrega. Let us begin with agrarian economy. Children, there is difference between agrarian economy and the modern economy, because agrarian economy is the village economy. In India, before the advent of colonial rule, the village land was under the ownership of community as a whole, and the land relations were very simple, based on regular practical necessities of the community. But after the coming of British people, the land relations were established on some specific guidelines and principles. So British Raj thus created mainly two forms of property relations. The first was landlordism and the second was individual peasant proprietorship. Daniel Thorner studied the land relations of India, and on the basis of the criteria of income, rights, and extent of field work, he divided the land relations into three categories: Maliks, Kisans, and Mazdoors. Who were the Maliks? These Maliks were the owners of the land. They earned from land directly, enjoying property right over the same. And their main interest is to maintain a low wage level and a high rent standard for their lands. These owners or Maliks are divided into two subcategories: the big landlords and the rich landowners. Big landlords hold rights over large tracts extending over several villages. And the rich landowners, they have large tracts of land inside one village, having control over the management and interest in the improvement. So these are the two subcategories of the Maliks or the owners. Then comes second category is of Kisans, means the farmers. They work on lands and have property interest in the land, but they are inferior to Maliks. They are also classified into two categories. First is small landowners. These Kisans or small landowners have sufficient land holding to sustain family. Members of their family are responsible for cultivation. They neither receive rent nor they employ outside labor unless it becomes absolutely necessary. So the farmer and the whole family is engaged in farm work. Then second category of Kisans or farmer is substantial tenants. These are the tenants holding leases under landlords, and it is done under legal process. Size of the land holding is usually large enough, and their tenure rights are fairly secure, means nobody can deny from their rights over the land. So these are the two categories of Kisans: small landowners and the substantial tenants. Then comes the third category. It is Mazdoors. They earn their livelihood working under other, tilling their soil. And they are categorized into three categories. First is poor tenants. These poor tenants have tenancy rights, but these rights are not secure. Land holdings are too small to maintain our family and the income is very limited. Second category is of sharecroppers. These sharecroppers are either tenants at will, taking lease without security, or cultivators in others' land on sharecropper basis. This implies they earn a share of the crop produced. So, let me explain it. Who are the sharecroppers, or what is meant by sharecropping? This sharecropping is a system of agriculture in which a landowner allows a tenant to use the land in return for a share of crops produced on his portion of land. It means a tenant can grow crops on someone's land, and in return that tenant gives a share of the crop to the owner. So this system is called sharecropping, and the farmer who is engaged in activity is called a sharecropper. And this system has a long history, and there are wide range of different situations and types of agreements that are used in this system. So this is the second category of mazdoors. Now the third category of mazdoors is landless laborers. So it is clear by the name that these people have no land of their own. They engage themselves as laborers in others' land on a temporary basis and without any specific conditional relation with the landlord. So they are very poor people because they don't have their own land and they depend on the wages. So these are the three land relations. The first is maliks, then second is kisans, and the third is the mazdoors or the laborers. Now in this part our second topic is Jajmani system. It is something very interesting, but let us understand what is meant by Jajmani system. This Jajmani system is a system of economic, social and ritual ties among different caste groups in a village. So this Jajmani system is followed in the villages. The word Jajmani is derived from a Sanskrit word Jajman. It means a person who arranges a jajna and hires the service of a Brahmin to actually perform the jajna. It means in villages there used to be some high caste people who used to arrange yajna, and for the conduct of the yajna they hired some Brahmins, and gradually this term came to be applied to everyone who hired services or to whom some services was given. Thus a traditional specialized occupation of villagers based on caste led to the exchange of services in the rural area. So this way the term Jajman refers to the patron or recipient of the specialized services on the one hand, and on the other hand a person who is providing the services. So in this system the person who is receiving the services is called Jajman, and the person who is providing the services is called Prajan or Kamin. For example, there is a Brahman, and the Brahman has hired a washerman. That Brahman is a Jajman because he is receiving the services of washerman, and the washerman who is providing the services to the Brahman is called a Prajan or Kamin. So this is a social system as well as economic system which is prevailing in the villages. Now let us discuss few more things about this Jajmani system. In the villages there are some specialist workers like potter, carpenter, jeweler, washerman. They all render their services for specific families. Means every family hires some Prajans or the Kamins who provide their services. The family or families entitled to certain services from certain persons are called Jajman. The serving caste offer their services to land owing upper and intermediate caste, and in turn are paid both in cash and kind. For example, the patrons are land owing dominant castes like Rajput, then Bhumihar, Jat in north, and Kamma, Lingyat and Reddy in Andhra Pradesh, Patel in Gujarat, Thakurs in Uttar Pradesh, and they all receive the services from the caste of Brahman, barber, carpenter, blacksmith, water carrier, leather workers, etc. So we have seen that it is a kind of system where someone is receiving the services and someone is providing the services. Sometimes a Jajman who is providing the services is not only linked with a family, but he is linked with the whole village. Like the postman or watchman, they are not linked with a particular family but the whole village. So in return, they get the cash and the gifts from the whole village. So it is a kind of reciprocal relationships where we see interdependence and cooperation between the Jajmans and the Prajans. This Jajmani system has some features. Like first feature is the relationship. The relationships are permanent and it goes on from generation to generation. After father, the son also gets the services from the same Prajan. Then the right to Jajmani work is treated as any other right of property. Next feature is arrangement for payment. On some special occasions, these Prajans get some gifts, means they get the cash and kind both from the Jajmans. Then the last feature is one Prajan could serve more than one Jajman families, as we have seen that the barber, the watchman, the postman, they serve the whole village. So now let us discuss the advantages of this system. This is important in a society as it determines social, economic, religious, ritualistic and political structure of the society. Then it ensures security of service on one hand and payment on the other. Third, it gives birth to a permanent social relationship. Fourth, it stabilizes the fabric of social division in a simple but strict manner. Then, it is an example of true spirit of community feeling and organization. So this is a very good system, I can say, which is binding the caste with one another, because every caste is depending upon each other. Then the last topic of this portion is Manrega. It is MGNREGA, M for Mahatma, G for Gandhi, N for National, R for Rural, E for Employment, and G for Guarantee, and A for Act. So the full form of Manrega is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act of 2005. So this is an act which was initiated to remove the poverty and unemployment from the villages, and it was initiated in year 2005. So we can say that it came into existence in 2005, is one of the most ambitious schemes of central government with the sole purpose of reducing the unemployment status at rural level. And it provides 100 days work guarantee to the unskilled workers of the village. It means the workers can join this for 100 days, and there is a guarantee of the payment up to 100 days. So this system is a very good system, or we can say this act is a very good act which has removed poverty from the villages. The main objectives of this program are ensuring social protection for the most vulnerable people living in rural India. Then it ensures livelihood security for the poor through the creation of durable assets, improved water security, soil conservation, and higher land productivity. Then another objective is strengthening the drought prone areas and the flood management in rural India. It helps in aiding in the empowerment of marginalized communities, especially the women, scheduled caste, and the scheduled tribes. Another objective is strengthening decentralized participatory planning through convergence of various anti-poverty and livelihood initiatives, deepening democracy at grassroots level through Panchayati Raj institutions, and affecting greater transparency and accountability in governance. Then there are some features, special features of this act. First of all, the design of the act is bottom up, means this act is working from the grassroots level or from the bottom. It is people centered, it is demand driven and self selecting and right based. Next, under this act, the work will be provided according to the demand of the wage seekers or the workers. It provides a legal guarantee of wage employment up to 100 days, and it has legal provisions for allowances and compensation. In case of late payments or if there is no work, the people are provided with some special wages as compensation. In case of failure to provide work on demand and delays in payment of work undertaken. But children, we have seen that though this act was formulated to remove poverty from the villages and unemployment from the villages, but this act or this program is facing some problems. These problems are Due to some vote bank politics, this act or this program is not working properly because of the interference of the politicians. Then this Manrega seems to be a puppet show of few politicians who forces rural to pay bribery to get jobs. So without paying the bribes, they cannot get jobs. Money granted for this scheme remains in the hands of state politicians who in turn uses this money during election campaigning. Then there is lack of proper records to check for the number of households in rural areas demanding jobs and actual number of people benefited from this scheme. The state government provides employment which are short and not worth working. And it would lead to loss of time, and workers spend most of their time at home and get INR 100 free per day. Then there are also allegations of fake workers who are working there and fake job cards which are produced by damaged authorities. The incidents of undeserving candidates availing all the advantages at the cost of real beneficiaries. And then appointing people from rural areas often causes damage to the work as they are illiterate and mostly unskilled, and facilities for job training is inadequate. So, though the intention of the government was very good, it was to improve the status of the villagers, but due to these problems, the system is not working well. Have a good day.